P is divisible by 2, then P square will also be divisible by 2. If P is divisible by, or A we can take divisible by 3, then P square is also divisible by 3. Or P square divisible by 3, then P will be divisible by 3. If P square divisible by 2, that means P will be divisible by 2. Okay, these are perfect squares. If P square divisible by 5, then P will be divisible by 5. Or P is divisible by 5, then P square will be divisible by 5. These all things we all know. Okay, using these we'll be proving that particular root that is not perfect square is an irrational number. Okay, so root 3 will be proving now. So let root 3 equal to A by B. So we are supposing let root 3 be a rational number. So we are supposing that root 3 is a rational number. We suppose that if root 3 is a rational number, it can be expressed in the form of A by B. It can be expressed in the form of A by B, where A and B are integers and B not equal to 0, and A and B, they are co-primes. So here you can open page number. Okay, open page number 8. Open page number 8. Once open page number 8. Okay, on page number 8, remember that is given at last. If P is a number whose square P square is divisible by 2, then necessarily P is also divisible by 2. Okay, these things, points 1 and 2, you have to go through them. Okay, always remember number is rational if a number can be expressed as the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. First one. Second one, P and Q do not have any common factor other than unity, that is 1. Okay, this you can mark important above. Remember that is there. You can write IMP. Okay, and you must go through them. Okay, go through them once. Okay, so if root 3 is a rational number, we suppose that root 3 is a rational number. Okay, if it is a rational, it can be expressed in the form of A by B, where A and B are integers and B not equal to 0, and A and B are co-primes. That is, they do not have any common factor other than unity. So they do not have any common factor, we can say. Okay. Now we'll be squaring both sides, left hand side and right hand side. We are squaring. Okay, so it will be 3 equal to A square upon B square, or we can say A square equal to 3B square. Okay, now you know A square equal to 3B square, that is A is divisible by 3. A is divisible by 3. If we expand A square, 3 will be there in the factors. So A square is divisible by 3. So therefore, okay, this we have got once. Now we can write, we can take A equal to 3m. We can write it like this because 3 is a factor of A square. Therefore, 3 will be factor of, yes.
Sir, what is m here?
M, okay, any integers we have taken, any integer m we have taken, okay. A can be expressed in the form of 3m. 3 is a factor of A, we know. M is unknown, okay. So A we are expressing 3 into something. For example, see here, 10 we can write it as 2 into 5, or example, for example, 9, or 6 you take. 6 can be written as 3 into 2. So here m will be how much? 2. This 3, this one. So 3 is a factor of 6. We can write 6 equal to 3 into 2. Similarly, A we do not know, m we do not know. So we can write A equal to 3 into something. That something is m. Okay. But we know A is divisible by 3. 3 is a factor of A. So we can write it like this. Okay. Now we put the value of A as 3m in first. Okay. If you are putting 3m, the whole square equal to 3b square. So it will be how much? 9m square equal to 3b square, or 3m square equal to b square. So b square equal to 3m square. Okay. Now see here, what we are going to prove is that, see here, A square has a factor of 3. A, it has a factor of 3. Here B square, it is having factor of 3. So B we can express in the form of 3n. This is our second. B is having a factor of 3. B can be expressed as 3n. So if you put the value of B equal to 3n, 3n whole square equal to 3m square. Again, 9n square equal to 3m square, or we can say m square equal to 3n square. Okay, this will continue. So see here, what we are going to prove is that root 3 equal to a by b. Okay, now there is a common factor of 3 between a and b. We cancel them, but again there is a common factor of 3 between a and b. That is, it is indefinitely going. There is always a factor of 3 that is common between a and b. There is always a factor of 3 that is common between a and b. This we are proving that through that. Understood this one? We can, it will indefinitely go. That is m square equal to 3n square. So m is having a factor of 3. M can be written as 3p. Putting here, then n square equal to 3p square. N is having a factor of 3. Again, n equal to 3q. So we will be never able to cancel them. That is, always there will be a factor of 3 common between a and b. That is, we are never going to cancel them. It is indefinitely going. Indefinitely it is going. That is, there is a factor of 3, always a factor of 3 common between a and b. They are not co-primes. So what we are proving, that a and b, they are never going to be co-prime. They are not co-primes. If they are not co-primes, they are not co-prime, it means root 3 is not a rational number. Root 3 is not a rational number. You can see it is keep going. It will keep going. Indefinitely it will go. So between a and b there is always a factor of 3 that is common. That is, indefinitely it is going. They are never going to be cancelled. They are not co-primes. Understood this one? Okay, you have to go through them. We will be taking it afterwards again. If you don't get it, we will take it afterwards again. After completion of the chapter, we will again discuss that. So see what we are doing. We are, if root 3 is a rational number, it means a and b, they will be co-primes. That will be, there won't be any common factor between a and b. And what we have proved, that there is common factor between a and b. And that is never going to cancel. That is, we keep on cancelling 3 from numerator, 3 from numerator, denominator, but there are infinite numbers of 3. That is, there will always be a common factor of 3 between a and b. There will always be a common factor between a and b, and that is 3. That is, they are never going to be prime. You can see as well, a square equal to 3b. So a is having a factor of 3, b is also having a factor of 3. If we cancel them, again they are having factor of 3. 3 is always going on. Here we cancel 3, but still it is going on. It is still going on. You can see as well, if a equal to b, put these things. A can be put 3m and b 3n. Again 3 that cancelled, m 3p and 3q. Again p and q. So 3 will always be there. 3 will always be there. It will indefinitely go. That is, we keep on cancelling 3, but there is always a factor of 3 common we are getting. Therefore, we can say a and b, they are never going to be co-prime. There will always be some prime factors, and they are never going to cancel. So we can say whatever we have supposed, that is wrong. It contradicted, and therefore root 3 is an irrational number. Similarly with root 5. Okay, see root 5. How we are going to prove? Again the same way. So root 5, we are considering it to be a rational number. That means a and b are prime. Now squaring both the side, 5 equal to a square upon b square. So a square can be written as 5b square. That is, a is having a factor of 5. So a we can write it as 5m. A can be expressed as 5m because b square multiplied by 5, we are getting a square. That means a is having a factor of 5. A we can express into 5m. Put it here, 5m the whole square equal to 5b square. 25m square equal to 5b square, or b square equal to 5m square. Again, we can say b is having a factor of 5. So b we can write it as 5n. Put it again here. So it will be 25n square equal to 5m square, or 5n square equal to m square. M square equal to 5n square. Again, m is having a factor of 5. So m can be written as 5p. Okay, I write it here. If m equal to 5p. Now putting here 5p whole square equal to 5n square. So it will be 25p square equal to 5n square. 5p square equal to n square, or n square equal to 5p square. Again, n is having a factor of 5, it is divisible by 5. So we can write n equal to 5q. It will keep on continuing. 25q square equal to 5p square, or p square equal to 5q square. Again, p is having a factor of 5. P can be written as 5m n mn v2 qr. Again, keep putting. You will know they are never going to cancel each other. There will always be a common factor of 5. There will always be a common factor of 5. A is 5m divided by 5n. 5 get cancelled. M can be written as 5p. 5p upon 5q. 5 get cancelled. Again, p can be written as 5r. Similarly, q can be written as 5s. So these sum number always is having a factor of 5. They are never going to be a co-prime. Therefore, we can say root 5 is not a rational number. It is irrational. Okay. Okay. Is your mind blowing something? Or have your mind worked much? So this derivation we will do it again afterwards. Okay, there is another method to prove as well, that is finding the root. As you can see on page number 8, there are division method and alternative method. This is alternative method. Division method, if you calculate the root of 2, root of 3, root of 5, you will see that it is never ending, non-recurring, non-terminating decimal number you are getting. Okay, that way as well you can prove. Have you understood this method? Anyone who haven't understood, raise your hand. Who haven't understood, raise your hand. Even you don't know that whether you understood or not. Okay, now we'll discuss something very easy. Surds we will discuss, or radicals. Okay, these you have understood, you can ask and we'll discuss them again. These 3 proofs, we'll discuss them again afterwards. Okay. So now we discuss, now the other exercise is very, very easy. Surds and radicals, it's very easy. Very easy exercise. Surds or radicals. Okay, what are surds? What do you mean by surds, or what do you mean by radicals? Okay, these are irrational numbers. Okay, so see here, for example, x is one positive rational number. n sorry, is a positive integer. Is a positive integer. X is a rational number, n is a positive integer. All the integers are rational number. Okay. So now if we are expressing it as in the form of x raised to power 1 by 4, that is, or nth root of x, okay, such that it is irrational. It is irrational. Then these are called as surds. So square root, cube root, okay, if these are irrational, and these are called as surds. Okay, for example, I give you, okay, for example, x equal to 2, n equal to 3. So how it will be written? 2 raised to x raised to power 1 by n, 2 raised to power 1 by 3, or cube root of 2. These are irrational numbers. It is irrational. It is irrational. This is called as surd or radical. Or 2/5 root of 2. It's again irrational. Therefore, it is called as surd. Or 2 raised to power 1 by 5. These are called as surd because these are irrational. Understood? 2 is a rational number. 5 is a positive. These are positive integers, positive integers. Understood this one? Okay, so we'll do first question first. Exercise 4C, first question. Exercise 4C, first question. Root of 180. Is it a surd or not? We have to find. Root of 180. Okay, you can see it is 80 raised to power 1 by 2. So 180, this is a rational number. 2, it is a positive integer. These two conditions are satisfied. Now we have to check whether it's irrational or not. Whether it's irrational or not. So root of 180, how it can be written root of 180? Factorize it. 180 to 90 to 45 3 15 3 5. So these are the factors. How to find the root? Factorization method you have studied. 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3. Now we have to take the square root. So from each pair, we'll be taking 1 out. So 2 we have taken out. From this pair, 3 we have taken out. Okay. This is single, so it will remain under. Okay, 1 minute. 5 it is. 5 it is. So since it is single, it will remain under root. So it is 6 root 5. Okay, is it a rational or irrational number? Is it a rational or irrational number? 6 root 5. Irrational? It is irrational. Therefore, we can say that root of 180 is a surd. It is a surd. Understood this one? This is rational number 180. 2 is a integer, positive integer. First condition is satisfied. Second condition, this must be irrational. So we have proved that 6 root 5 is an irrational. Therefore, this is a surd. Understood this one? Okay, do the second one. 4th root of 27. 4th root of 27. So it is 27 raised to power 1 by 4. 27 is a rational number. It's a positive rational number. So it is first condition is satisfied. It is 4 is a integer, positive integer. Therefore, first condition is satisfied. Now check the second one. How to check the second one? 27 4th root. So 27 factorize 27, 3, 9 jar, 3, 3 jar, 3, 1. So fourth root of 3 into 3 into 3. Can we take fourth root of this one? No, we cannot take, because we require 4, 3, among them we can take. So it's a irrational number. It's a irrational number. Therefore, fourth root of 27 is a third. Understood this one? Okay, do third one. Everyone do third one. In your notebook, do the third one. Okay, and Riddhi will be telling the answer. Fifth root of 128. 128. Fifth root of 128. So, to be a third, two conditions are there. Check whether they are satisfied or not. It can be written as 128 raised to power 1 upon 5. So 128 is a rational number and 5 is an integer, positive integer. Therefore, first condition is satisfied. Check the second one. Fifth root of 128. So factorize 128 to how much it will be? 232, 216, 2, 8, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. How many 2s are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fifth root of 2 raised to power, okay, 7 times. Any way you can do. 2, 2, 2, 3, 6, 7. So from a pair of 5, we take 1 to our 2 root of 4. 2 fifth root of 4. We cannot solve it further, and fifth root of 4 is irrational. Therefore, this is a third. Understood this one? This is a third. Any doubt in here? Do the fourth one. Fourth one. Do the fourth one. Riddhi, are you in class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Krishna?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So next one, cube root of 64. Neeraj will be telling. Neeraj, you have to tell whether it's a third or not. Cube root of 64. Okay, now first condition, check first one. It will be 64 raised to power 1 by 3. So check first one. Is 64 a positive rational number? Yes. Is 3 a positive integer? Yes. So first condition is satisfied. Neeraj, are you in class? If yes, you can raise your hand as well. Okay. This is clear. Now check the second one. Second one means take the root. It has to be irrational. Okay. So we are having cube root of 64. 64, factorize 64 to how much we will be getting? 32, 2, 16, 2, 8, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. So how many 2s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cube root of 2 into 2 into 2, 2 into 2 into 2. So it's a cube root. So we'll be forming triplets. And from each triplet, we'll be taking 1 out. So it will be 2, 2. So cube root of 64 is how much? 4. Is it a rational or irrational number? Neeraj, is it a rational or irrational number? Ria, you tell, is it a rational or irrational number? Ria?
Sir, it is rational number.
It's a rational number. Okay, therefore, is it a surd or not? Ria, is it a surd or not?
No, sir.
It's not a surd because it has to be rational, then only this will be a surd, which is not a surd. Okay, understood this one? Okay, next one, Manish will be telling. Next one, each one solve. Each one you solve this one. Cube root of 25 into this dot is for product. It means multiplication. Dot means product here. Okay, cube root of 40. It's not a decimal number, it's a product. It's not a decimal. It's a product. Dot product, cross product, you will study in high classes. Dot means we can represent multiplication with dot as well. Okay. Now see both the sides, it is cube root, so we can multiply. We can take it inside 40. It is how much? 1000. Okay. This can be expressed as 1000 raised to power 1 by 3. So it's a rational number, positive rational number. 3 is a positive integer. First condition satisfied. Check second one. Cube root of 1000. You can simply, you know it. How much it will be? 10 into 10 into 10, or you can factorize and you can find. So it is 10. So Manish, tell me whether it's a rational number or irrational number. 10.
Rational number.
Rational number, it means it is a rational number. It is a rational number. So is it a surd or not, Manish?
Sir, it is not.
It is not a surd. Good, thank you. It is not a surd. Okay. Now I tell you one thing here. See here, we have irrational numbers. Okay, and we have surds. So see here, all the surds, they are irrational. All the surds, they are irrational. But all irrational numbers are not surds. Example, pi. Pi is a irrational number, but pi is not a surd. Always remember this one. It's in your book as well on page number 17. Every surd is an irrational number, but every irrational number is not a surd. For example, pi we can take, okay? There's one more thing, order of a surd. Order of a surd. Okay, if I'm writing root 2, it's a surd. It is 2 raised to power 1 by 2. So this 2 is an order of the surd. This 2 is an order of the surd. Okay, if I'm writing a raised to power 1 by n, where a raised to power 1 by n is rational, a is a rational positive rational number, n is a positive integer, and a raised to power 1 by n is an irrational number. So it is a surd. So its order is how much? N. N is the order. Okay, 5 root of 8. So, okay, 5th root of 8. So it's a surd of order 5. It is a surd of order 5. Understood? Okay. This you have understood. Okay, do the next one. Cube root of minus 125. Cube root of minus 125. 125. It is minus 125 raised to power 1 by 3. So is it a positive rational number? No. So we can simply say it is not a surd. Or moreover, if we want to solve, so it is minus 5 the whole cube raised to power 1 by 3. So we are getting minus 5. Again, minus 5 is a rational number. It is not a surd. It is not a positive rational number. It's not a third. Here as well we are getting -5. It's not a third. So if any of the condition is not satisfied, we simply say third. We don't have to solve further. Okay. Root of pi is pi a rational number? Is pi is a rational number? No. Pi raised to power half. Pi, is it a positive rational number? It's not a rational number, it's irrational. Therefore, it is not a third. It is not a third. We don't have to check further. Okay, root 3 plus root 2. Root 3 plus root 2. It's not a third because root 2 is 3 plus root 2 is irrational. It's not a rational number. It's not a rational number. Understood this one? Okay. Now we'll be discussing, we can rationalize a third or any rational number. So if I'm writing 5 root 2, okay, how we can rationalize it? We have to multiply it by something. We have to multiply it by something. We can rationalize it. So first, if I am multiplying 5 root 2 with root 2, what I will be getting? What we will be getting? 5 into 2, 10. So 10 is a rational number. So what is the rationalizing factor here? By what we have multiplied? Root 2. So root 2 is rationalizing factor. It is a rationalizing factor. Understood this one? Or we can multiply it with 5 root 2 into 2 root 2. Again, 10, it will be 20. So 2 root 2 is a rationalizing factor. But what is the least rationalizing factor? Lowest rationalizing factor? Root 2. So there can be any rationalizing factor. It's not unique that particular rationalizing factor has to be there. We can multiply with anything which gives us a rational number. It can be multiplied with 5 root 2, 7 root 2, 3 root 2, any. These all are the rationalizing factor. But which is the lowest rationalizing factor? Root 2. Root 2 is the lowest rationalizing factor. So always read the question properly whether we have to find the lowest rationalizing factor or any factor. If any factor, we can choose any one. Any of them we can write. But if it is written lowest rationalizing factor, then only root 2 can be the answer. Okay, so first one, issue you tell what will be the lowest rationalizing factor for first one. 5 root 2. Yes, issue. What will be the
Yes,
lowest?
sir.
What will be the lowest rationalizing factor for 5 root 2? By what we should multiply it so that we get a rational number? What will be the smallest rationalizing factor? Answer it fast. Khushi, you answer it. Issue, pay attention in class. Khushi, what will be the
Yes,
lowest
sir.
rationalizing? What will be the lowest rationalizing factor?
Sir, don't know.
Why? We are having 2 Khushis in class. Khushi and Khushi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, so see here, listen it again, see here. 5 root 2, is it a rational number or irrational number? Is it a rational number or irrational number? It's a rational number or irrational number?
Sir, irrational.
It's
Irrational.
irrational. It's irrational. So we have to make it rational. How we can make it rational? By multiplying by something? By multiplying this by something? It's a third as well, or simply we can say irrational. It's a third. So how we can make it rational? by multiplying it by something, and that something will be what? This root 2 we have to remember, we have to remove. So if you multiply it with root 2, what will be getting? 5 root 2 into root 2 into 2. So what is the answer? 10. So here rationalizing factor is what? By what factor we have multiplied so that an irrational number and a third has become rational. We have rationalized it. So rationalizing factor is root 2. Rationalizing factor is root 2. It's the lowest rationalizing factor. Okay. Now second question, root of 24. Radhika, you tell. What will be the smallest, lowest rationalizing factor? So to find that, we must simplify that one. So 24 2, 12, 2, 6, 2, 3, 3, 1. Okay. 2 to the 4 to the 8, 8 is the 24. So what we can write it as? 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. So it's a square root. So only one pair is formed. We can take it out. 2 root 6. This is the answer. Now find the rationalizing factor. It's a third. What will be the smallest rationalizing factor? Radhika, what will be the smallest rationalizing factor?
Root 6.
Root 6. By what we must multiply this one so that it becomes rational? This third becomes rational. So if you multiply with root 6 into root 6, 6. 2 into 6, 12. So we are getting a rational number. How we have rationalized this third? By multiplying with root 6. This is the smallest, this is the lowest rationalizing factor. There are many rationalizing factors, you can use any, but this is the lowest rationalizing factor. So rationalizing factor is root 6. Okay. Next one, Tanvi will be answering root 5 minus 3. Root 5 minus 3. Root 5 minus 3. Okay. Here you all know a plus b into a minus b. What we will be getting? A square minus b square. If it is root 3 minus 2 plus 2 multiplied with root 3 plus 2. This is, okay, minus 2 here. This is irrational number. It's a third. It is again a third. Both are irrational. Both are thirds. If we multiply them, a square 3 plus minus minus 2 into 2 4 minus 1. Minus 1 is a rational number. So if in question it is given root 3 minus 2, by what it should be multiplied so that it becomes rational? It must be multiplied with root 3 plus 2. It must be multiplied with root 3 plus 2. A plus b into a minus will give us a square minus b square. So 3 minus 4 minus 1. Okay. If the question is what must be multiplied with root 3 plus 2 so that it becomes rational, what will be the lowest rationalizing factor? Root 3 minus 2. Solve them, we'll get. So what will be the rationalizing factor for root 3 minus 3? Tanvi, what will be the rationalizing factor? Tanvi, answer it. What must be multiplied? Piyush. Piyush, answer it. Piyush. Priyanshi.
Sir, root 5 plus 3.
What? Again say? Root?
5 plus 3.
Root 5 plus 3. Okay. You can check as well. root 5 minus 3 into root 5 plus 3. This is the rationalizing factor. Root 5 into root 5, 5. Minus 3 into 3, 9. Minus 4. So it's a rational. So rationalizing factor is root 5 plus 3. Okay. Next one, fifth one. Okay, fifth one you do and we will leave the class. Fifth one, everyone try to solve. Lowest rationalizing factor we have to find. So in question it is given root 18 minus root 15. Rest you do as homework, root 18 minus root 50. Root 18 minus root 50. So first simplify them. 18 can be written as 2, 9, 3, 3, 1. So it is 2 into 3 into 3. Okay. 50, it can be written as 5 into 5, 20. 5 into 2, 50. Okay. 3 we can take out. 3 root 2 minus 5 root 2. We are simplifying it first. Okay. Now root 2 we can take common out. 3 minus 5. Okay. Root 2 take out. 3 minus 5. It is root 2 into minus 2. So minus 2 root 2. Okay. What will be the smallest rationalizing factor? Bhavya Saini, you reply this one. Minus 2 root 2.
2 and root 2.
Again tell.
Minus 2 and root 2.
No, smallest we need. See here, minus 2, it's a rational number already. Root 2 we have to rationalize. Okay. So if we multiply with just root 2, it will become rational number. Minus 2 into 2 minus 4. You can see it has become rational. So smallest, see here, if it is not asking the smallest, then you can say minus 2 root 2, 4 root 2, 7 root 2, any number you can say. But the question is asking lowest rationalizing factor. Lowest rationalizing factor is root 2. Only we have to convert this part of the number and we will make it rational. So root 2 is the rationalizing factor. Okay, till 9th, everyone solve this one and we'll discuss it in class tomorrow. Okay. Till 9th, second 9th, solve everyone and we'll discuss it tomorrow in class. Understood this one, rationalizing factor? Revise this one and rest we will discuss tomorrow in class. Okay. Thank you. Any doubt you have?
Thank you, sir.
No,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.